Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a blessed week. Mine's going really good. Hey, I wanted to talk to you real quick about filthiness of the spirit. And listen, I've tried to record this video at least 5 different times on 3 different days, and every time something keeps going wrong. So I don't know who needs to hear this out there, but I'll tell you what, all the forces of darkness have been coming against me on this one. So our scripture's taken out of 2 Corinthians 7:1. Paul says, having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of God. Well, filthiness of the flesh, that's easy to figure out. That's something you do in the flesh, and every time you do, your conscience tells you, you know what, that was wrong, you shouldn't have done it. I mean, we know right off the bat. But filthiness of the spirit, that goes much deeper, and nobody sees it, so most likely you're not really too concerned about it. Well, the first one is a filthiness of the spirit is when you harbor ill feelings toward any other person. You wish any other person harm. You don't like that person, and you don't care what happens to them. You just don't like them. Well, Matthew 5:44 says, but I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for those which despitefully use you and persecute you. People, the hardest thing I have to do, and I force myself to do it, is pray for people that I don't like. And I got a lot of people, a couple relatives, that I just don't like them. But you know what? I force myself to pray for them. I force myself to do it. Because when you pray for somebody, you have a hard time having ill feelings toward them. Another filthiness of the spirit is unforgiveness toward any other person. When you refuse to forgive another person. And you can say to me, Pastor Bob, you have no idea how much they hurt me. You have no idea what they've done to just jack my life up. Every time I turn around, they do something against me. People, listen. No one has sinned against you more than you have sinned against God. And God commands us that we have to forgive everyone. If you refuse to forgive, that's a filthiness of the spirit. Matthew 18:32-35 says, then his Lord, after he had called him, said unto him, O thou wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt, because you desired me. Should you not also have compassion on your fellow servant, even as I had compassion on you? And his Lord was wroth and delivered him unto the tormentors. Here we had this guy that owed his master like $1 million, and he couldn't pay it. In his whole life, he'd never pay it. So he begged his master, and his master forgave him the whole debt. So he turns around and goes to one of his friends who owes him $10. And the guy doesn't have the money to pay him. He says, hey, give me some time and I'll pay you back. But he says, no way. And he grabs him by the throat, won't forgive him, and turns him over to the debt collectors to be in prison until he could pay the debt. God said, if you refuse to forgive people, he's not going to forgive you. It's that simple. Refusing to forgive somebody is a filthiness of the spirit. And number 3 is false doctrine. False doctrine. You know, it's one thing to believe something that's false. I have changed my mind on different doctrines throughout my lifetime. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about to know something is false and to teach it anyway. To know something's wrong and to spread that false doctrine anyway. That is a filthiness of the spirit. And the last one is your thought life. Your thought life. Paul tells us in 2 Corinthians 10:5, he says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. People, listen. Nothing grieves the Holy Spirit like your imagination. When you just sit there and have sexual fantasies, you dream about harming somebody, just all the filth. Now, it's okay to have a filthy thought. Normally when you have a filthy thought or something like that, it's a demonic force putting that thought into your head. And if you just say, I dismiss that as evil, get rid of it. Then it's no sin on you. But when you dwell on it and you just bring up this great big drama in your head, that is a filthiness of the Spirit, and it grieves the Holy Spirit. People, listen. Jeremiah 6:16 says, Thus saith the Lord, Stand at the crossroads and look, and ask for the ancient paths where the good way is, and walk therein, and you shall find rest for your souls. People, listen. These four things, the filthiness of the Spirit that grieves the Holy Spirit, ill feelings toward another, unforgiveness toward anyone, spreading false doctrine, and your thought life. If you will get all those under check, it will bring joy and peace to your life. You know, I just want to give you something to think about. Heaven or hell, you choose. Just remember, once you take your last breath, it's a done deal.